is absolutely ridiculous. You're not the accountant type, face it.
You just don't wish women to make anything of themselves.
Oh, boy.
It's time for women to free themselves from the stranglehold men have held on them for centuries. Time for them to move from the kitchen and the boudoir into the office and the factories to help shape the future of Cuba's glorious republic.
Good grief. Where did you get that? One of Fidel's speeches?
From a pamphlet. My accounting class starts in 25 minutes. Will you take me there?
No, I don't want to encourage you.
I'll go myself then. I'll see you tomorrow, Chico.
When? Before or after your accounting class?
Tomorrow's my sewing class.
Oh. Hello, Cheetah, darling.
Tommy.
I say, I thought you and Cheetah were on the outs.
Cheetah and I are too well suited. We each want the same thing from the other. Absolutely nothing.
I say, are you coming out the airport? Mrs. Palmer's due in half an hour.
Well, you go, Tommy. Get me a couple of pictures, will you?
All right, Mike, but I can't write your story for you, you know?
What story? Distraught American wife arrives Cuba to beg personally for release of husband jailed on suspicion of espionage. You can write the story right here.
You know, I think you have something up your sleeve.
Sure. The arm of a joker. Look, Tommy, you better hurry if you're going to catch that plane. Bring me back a couple of pictures of the crusading wife and make sure she looks distraught.
Right you are. Mrs. Palmer, would you care to make a statement, please?
Please, gentlemen, I'm very tired.
Just give us a statement. Hold it there, Mrs. Palmer, what do you hope to accomplish by this trip?
I'm hoping that Mr. Castro will listen to reason.
Your husband is charged with espionage.
Oh,
Could we get a shot of you later on?
No spy.
Do you personally have any idea why your husband came to Cuba?
No.
How do you plan to change Premier Castro's mind?
Do you have anything to offer in return?
Madam, we...
Only my gratitude for setting an innocent man free.
Could we get a shot of you? Hold it. I can get one more shot.
All right, basta. En otra ocasión, the lady has had a long trip. Welcome to Havana, Senora Palma. Captain Santos, Havana Police.
Thank you.
It is my function to see that your stay here runs as smoothly and as comfortably as possible.
And Premier Castro?
I'm trying to arrange a meeting, but that is difficult. Our leader is here, there, everywhere. Meantime, enjoy your stay.
I'm afraid I'm not here on a vacation, Captain.
We are anxious that you would take back only pleasant memories with you.
You make it sound as though that's all I'm going to take back with me. Scotty's all right, isn't he? Isn't he?
I have a limousine waiting for you. May I see you to your hotel? You should be comfortable here, Senora Palma. The prison is not very far away.
Oh, should I have tipped him?
It would be like tipping your postman. He's a government employee. Enjoy Havana, Senora Palma. I will see you tomorrow morning at 10. And then we will go and see Senor Palma. Eh?
Are you decent?
Mrs. Palmer, I'm Mike Taggart. So happens I'm your next-door neighbor.
Well, what do you want?
Well, I was hoping we could have a drink together. I've got some bourbon. It's not very good, but it's very hard to get.
I thought that door was supposed to be locked.
Well, the bellboy's a friend of mine. I'm the last of the big spenders.
You're an American.
Well, you noticed that. As a matter of fact, it was probably my dispatch that brought you down here from Boston. American adventurer, jailed in Havana.
I don't remember asking for that. If you don't mind, Mr. Tackett, I want to be alone.
Yes. Well, that's your mistake. Not only is it a bad idea, it's quite impossible. Every investigative body in Cuba has a vital interest in you, Mrs. Palmer.
What do you mean?
Hello, officer. Yesterday, he was a sugarcane cutter. Today, he's one of Santos' crime busters. You need a friend, Mrs. Palmer.
And you need a story for your newspaper, is that it?
Well, I'm glad we settled that so rapidly. I spent a fair proportion of my salary arranging joining rooms. Now, how about that drink?
What do they think I'm going to do?
What indeed? I particularly liked your answer to the reporter in the States when he asked you why you were going to so much trouble to see Scotty, and you said, because I love him, and he needs me.
And what else should I say?
Absolutely, I'm with you.
Look, what's going on here? Why am I being watched? And what are you trying to imply?
You keep asking me questions you have the answer to. I'll answer it.
Senora Palmer, Colonel Velasquez will see you now.
Colonel Velasquez.
Well, you're in the big leagues already. Velasquez is the man you see when you can't get to Fidel. Senora Palmer will see Colonel Velasquez now.
Not you.
Palmer, I'm Coronel Velasquez.
I have been waiting here for 3 hours.
Couldn't be helped. Sit down.
You might have sent word.
We are a government by improvisation. We must constantly deal with emergencies as they arise. 4 counter-revolutionaries were picked up 3 streets from here. One of them was a very good friend of mine. I met him at the Sorbonne. We were in the Communist Party together in 1957. We talked for a while, and then I shot him.
Are you trying to frighten me?
Not an easy job, I would say, offhand. What I'm trying to show you, Mrs. Palmer, is that I say what I mean.
Colonel Velasquez, my husband is innocent of the charges you're holding him on. Scotty never had a political thought in his life.
No argument, please. Let's clear the air, Mrs. Palmer. There's no point in us talking without the money.
But I have $4,000 in the saving account. I'm prepared to give you all of that.
Your husband is a lucky man indeed to have a woman like you on his side. We must know where the $1 million is, Mrs. Palmer. Then we can go on from there.
We're in 2 different conversations, I think.
The $1 million, Mrs. Palmer.
What $1 million? Would you please tell me what you're talking about?
You're a very attractive woman, Mrs. Palmer. And I can spend all night with you if necessary. All right. I will tell you the story of the $1 million, and perhaps you will find there is no point in you pretending any farther. You know Eddie Golden?
He was a close friend of my husband's. Scotty was with him when he died.
Good. Good. Then I can eliminate a lot of unnecessary history. Eddie Golden was a bagman for the American syndicate that ran the gambling casinos in Havana under the Batista regime.
Scotty loved colorful people. That doesn't mean that he was...
Of course not, of course not. On the night of the revolution, 1958, Eddie Golden picked up approximately $1 million American dollars. In the confusion, he escaped and hid it. Fled to Venezuela, where our agents finally located him. Your husband was visiting him at the time. Before we could get to Golden, he was killed in a hunting accident. Your husband showed up here. If you were I, Mrs. Palmer, what conclusion would you draw from that?
I never knew any of this. The first I heard of Scotty after Eddie's death was the story in the paper of his arrest.
Now, tell me, Mrs. Palmer, if you or I, would you believe that a man went in pursuit of $1 million without telling his own wife?
I have no control over your beliefs, Colonel. All I can tell you is the truth.
You forced me to harder bargaining. I will have to have the money first before you can be allowed to see your husband.
But I'm to see him tomorrow morning.
Yes. If you buy your ticket tonight.
I don't know anything about $1 million. All I want is my husband back.
What an invaluable man he must be. Bueno. Sí. Está bien. Well, I'm afraid our little talk has been academic, Mrs. Palmer.
Academic?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you see, your husband just escaped from prison.
Escaped?
I only have an hour more.
Stick around. I'll write you a note for your commanding officer. Tell me, Rodriguez, what were you before you became a sergeant in Fidel's militia?
A corporal.
Huh. Mrs. Palmer, is that you?
Are you alone?
Right. Just a minute. Honey, I got some business to attend to. Tengo que atender a mis negocios. Straighten yourself up, Sergeant. You're a disgrace to your uniform. Honey, you and me will take a 3-day pass together sometime, huh?
I thought I heard voices.
Oh, it was an Army friend of mine, Sergeant Rodriguez. How'd you make out?
Scotty's escaped.
Escaped? Well, that must be the neatest trick of the week.
He had a useful tool. $1 million to bribe the guard with.
Oh, so you did know about that money. For a while there, you had me convinced that you wanted to save poor old Scotty purely on wifely impulse.
Colonel Velasquez told me. That was the first I'd heard of it.
Okay. So what's next with you?
You offered to be my friend. Will you help me now?
You haven't given me much to go on.
I want you to find Scotty before Velasquez does, and before Scotty does anything foolish. Now, in return, you may have the exclusive story.
Look, honey, I write news, not science fiction.
Velasquez made it perfectly plain that if he found Scotty with the money, he'd kill him without the slightest compunction as an enemy of the state.
And you want to save him?
If I can.
Purely on wifely impulse? Look, all I'm saying is you don't have to dress up a treasure hunt like a crusade. Not for me. Don't get mad. So you want $1 million. Why not? What's a little honest avarice between friends?
Mr. Taggart, in the dead of night when you're all alone with your thoughts, how can you stand yourself?
Conversation's taken an intimate turn. Why don't you call me Mike?
Sorry. I'm not one of your Army friends.
What?
Sergeant Rodriguez perfume. Miguel Dubois. Good night. Think over my offer. Good morning.
Good morning. Will you join me?
I'm not hungry, thanks. What is that?
Well, that's banana pie. There are no eggs in Havana this week, but there's plenty of banana pie. Would you like a cup of coffee?
Yes, please.
Waiter, cup.
Have you decided anything yet?
I have one question. Supposing we find Scotty and the $1 million together, what are you going to do with that money?
I'm going to give it to Velasquez. I want my husband back, and I want him back safe and sound. That's all.
Well, then, as a student of human nature, I can't very well turn your offer down, can I? I mean, it'd be worth it just to see you hand over $1 million for one slightly shop-worn husband.
Have you always been like this? Flippant and bitter?
Only since I cut my wisdom teeth.
Must you sneer at everything?
Look, Ann, it took me a long time to develop that sneer. It's a good sneer, and I need it, so don't take it away from me now. Look who's coming.
Well, lovely morning, eh? May I sit?
Sure.
Thank you. And how are you this morning, Mrs. Palmer?
A little worried at the moment, Captain.
Of course, of course. But I assure you, your husband is much better off outside of prison than in. Our leader is not a disciple of progressive penology.
Well, you don't sound like a disciple of your leader.
I am a professional, not a political figure, Mrs. Palmer. I was chief of police before Castro. I will be chief of police when he is gone.
Survival. Hey, Santos?
Survival, Mr. Taggart, is the alpha and omega of my philosophy.
Tell me, Captain, what exactly is my status right now?
Your status? Why, you're an American citizen, Mrs. Palmer. You may come and go as you choose. You will not be molested. See our country. Socialism has not changed the sand on the beaches. The stars at night are not political.
Santos, may I tell you something? You're a poet.
I brought you your husband's belongings, Mrs. Palmer. Since he had escaped, I thought it seemed the most logical thing. There's a letter inside.
That doesn't seem right somehow. While he's still alive.
Empty?
Empty. Original contents, $50. Donated by the prisoner to the Widows and Orphans Fund.
Here it is.
We had to read it. It is a very touching document.
Please, read it for me.
You want me to read it?
I'm counting on a thoroughly disenchanted rendering.
Dearest Anne, by the time you read this, you'll know what I've been up to, and probably you'll be pretty mad, too. I wouldn't blame you because of all the crazy schemes I've had before, but this one is really big. I just want you to know that I'm doing it for you and me. With $1 million, we could start off fresh again and really live the life of ease. I guess I've been a disappointment to you. Running off all the time and leaving you alone with all my big talk and big dreams. I don't suppose I've been much of a husband. Hasn't been much of a marriage, and I'm really sorry. They're not treating me like a visiting dignitary in this jail, but if I ever get out, I'll make it all up to you. I swear I will. Your loving, Scotty. P.S. If you ever get a chance to see it, Conrad Easter has a painting of a girl who looks a lot like you, cold woman in a darkened room. To me, it looks like you. Anyway, very beautiful.
What an extraordinary spot. I can see now why he didn't want to leave.
Yes, but unfortunately, when Castro began to exploit Conrad Easter as the famous American painter who preferred Cuba to his homeland, the American audience vanished overnight. Incidentally, I can't vouch for the condition we'll find him in, or his disposition.
What's that about my disposition, Taggart?
Well, Conrad, are you sober?
Drunk as a lord. Who's that with you, an Irish school teacher? She looks like an Irish school teacher.
Well, as a matter of fact, I'm a secretary.
Conrad, this is Ann Palmer, Scotty Palmer's wife. Now, show some respect, you bloated old has-been. Are we coming in or not?
Show some respect yourself, you hack, or I'll knock you down. Come with me. Step into my museum. Once a studio, now a hall of relics, huh? Yeah, stinking cats, they're crazy about me. Irish, you want a kitten? I just had 6 more loaded onto me, huh? Ah. All right, Rosa, payday. Come on. Payday. My Spanish teacher.
Conrad.
Yeah?
This is Scotty Palmer's wife.
Yeah, you said that before, Taggart.
Mr. Easter, did you know, Scotty? He mentioned you in a letter that he wrote.
I put him up for the night. Right here in this room.
When? How long ago was that?
How long? How would I know how long? Arrived on the doorstep like a ruddy orphan.
Last night? Last month? When?
Well, he arrived at the same time as the kittens. Oh. I was going to put him in a box with the kittens, but he didn't fit.
How old are the kittens?
Ah.
How old do you think it is? A month? 6 weeks.
Then it was before he was arrested.
I offered him a bowl of porridge. He was that kind of man. Big, blonde, mindless face. Bit of a poet, but not much. I never saw a man so doomed to failure. Well, he got on famously.
Conrad? Scotty mentioned a painting, Woman in a Darkened Room. Could we see it?
Why? You want to buy it? I'll sell it to you cheap. Funds to fight the dry rot. Now, where is that ruddy canvas? I know it's here somewhere. Ah! Banzai! Here you are. $50. Take it or leave it, you rummage sale Philistines.
Conrad, have you got another painting with the same title?
What do you think I'm running here? Greeting card studio? A ruddy assembly line?
Well, just take it easy, Easter Bunny. Scotty said the woman in the picture looked like Ann.
Any man is entitled to his own impressions. They haven't taken away freedom of perception from us.
But the woman in this painting, all you can see are her hands.
That's what you're supposed to see. All right, $35.
No, really, $50 is fine. I'd give you more if I could.
Irish, you can teach me school anytime. Pax vobiscum. You sure you don't want a kitten?
Thank you. I think we'd better be going.
Let me know if there's ever anything I can do for you. I still have my boat if you want to go 90 miles to Florida. A little taxi service I run for my customers. Taggart, get out of here, you hack, before I knock you down.
Take it easy, Conrad. You old vagaboos. See you around.
What are we going to do, Mike?
Well, I thought I'd take a ride up to a village I know where I have a contact. Try to arrange a meeting with Al-Azhar, the guerrilla chief. You see, Scotty probably had rebel participation in his escape. He might have made a deal with them.
Well, why are we waiting here?
Rosa!
What are you doing?
Maybe Scotty left a message for me in here somewhere.
A message? Like maybe in code?
Well, it's not impossible, is it? Why else would he have drawn my attention to the painting?
Me without my secret decoder badge.
You know, none of this is very funny, Mike.
Not to speak disrespectfully of the vanished, but Scotty Palmer sounds more and more to me like a kid playing cops and robbers in his own backyard.
Scotty had a great love for life. And part of that love was a flair for mystery and excitement.
Look, honey, you can put down the sword and the starry crown. I know what's with you and this beloved husband of yours for whom you're seeking with such great devotion and selflessness. Now, let's be honest, huh? You and Scotty haven't lived together for 2 years. And your marriage was on the rocks long before that. I had my New York office check up on you.
How long have you had this?
It arrived the same day you did.
And you've known all this time, and you asked me to be honest.
Good shot. Now we're even. ¿Qué pasó?
Fueron sospechados de ser guerrillas.
Well, that's that. The one on the end over there, that's my contact. The one in the middle, Al-Azhar.
The others. Who are the others? There are so many.
They're men from the village suspected of being involved in the rebel movement.
Suspected?
Suspected. Karen? Can I come in?
I couldn't sleep.
Well, it's been that kind of a day. Why don't you have yourself a drink?
Every time I closed my eyes, I saw those men on the ground.
Well, you almost get used to that after a while. It's de rigueur on this island. Purges, executions, ambushes. It's all part of the insanity.
Do you think that the $1 million had anything to do with it?
No, I don't. Velasquez does that kind of thing more for fun than for profit.
But, Mike, in Scotty's letter, he said that he came down here for me, really.
Look, if you're trying to blame yourself for those executions, forget it.
I can't. Do you remember what you said earlier about Scotty's being like a kid playing at cops and robbers?
Don't hold that against me. I was just jealous.
You're right, Mike. You read his letters. You saw how he writes. I've had letters like that from London, where he tried to sign up with the Coldstream Guards, and Marrakesh, where he tried to join an archaeological expedition. I stayed home and worked, 9 to 5. I was like a parent putting her son through a school from which he'd never graduate. I don't think I really ever loved Scotty.
Well, what are you doing down here, then?
Oh, I've been running my own personal revolution for years. I should love Scotty, I told myself, because he needs me. So coming down here was my purge. In one noble act, I was going to redeem those wasted years.
Well, I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with a noble act. At least you're still trying. The revolution's still going on. You haven't given up the fight. But I've been thinking about what you said. Maybe Scotty was trying to get you to notice. Now, what else was in that picture? A table, a bowl of oranges. What association?
Oh, Mike.
Oh, come on. You can't give up now.
Maybe I should. Maybe I was what you thought I was all along.
What I think you are? What is it with a woman like you? Do you have to be untarnished like Scotty? Or can you be a little chipped around the edges? Like me? Well, what about it? You and Scotty have something special about a table?
No. No, I don't think so. We ate off a bridge table for years after we were married.
Well, what about the oranges?
No, that couldn't be it. We never had oranges in the house. Scotty's allergic.
Well, what about the hands? Allergic?
Yes, we never had citrus fruit in the house because he used to break out in hives.
What was he doing with these?
It's never been opened.
Maybe he's not too keen on getting the hives.
You know, nothing's making any sense. First the picture, now this.
Orange candy. Solid orange candy.
Maybe there's something on the label.
Oh, let's see. Ingredientes, azúcar, ácido citrático. Ingredients, sugar, citric acid, flavoring. Trio Candy Company, Rio de Janeiro. Triple good orange flavored candy.
It's odd, but those oranges, they look familiar somehow.
Well, of course it does. These things are sold in every cigar stand. You've never been in Havana. Why should it look familiar to you?
Dunno, it just does.
3 oranges. Triple good. 3 oranges.
I know. The penny bank.
What penny bank?
When I was little, my father gave me a penny bank in the form of a slot machine. And it really worked. When you spun a certain combination, the little drawer opened and you could get your money out. Now, Scotty was fascinated with that. We used it as a cigarette box. And 3 oranges was one of the combinations that opened the drawer.
A slot machine.
Well, could that be it? But there aren't any slot machines left in Havana, are there?
Well, some of that stuff is gone, but a lot of it's just out of sight when Castro decides he wants the tourists back again. And you realize we're staying in the same hotel that money disappeared from. And I've heard a lot of the gambling equipment from the casinos down in the cellar somewhere. Say, that might just be worth a look. I'll get the guard from the hall into my room. You get on the self-service elevator and wait for me until I can get to you. And bring Scotty's keys. Look, you may have the only penny bank in the world that's worth $1 million. Ann?
Yes? Nearly ready.
Look, if I get lost, will you come looking for me if I tell you where I am?
I know where you are. You're right here where you have been all along. I want to tell you that I'm grateful, Mike.
Well, the romance is over. Let's get on with the action.
Fire! Hey, buddy, give me a hand. Here. Incendio! Come on! No, come on, give me a hand. All right. Prende l'extinguidor. Come on!
Good. Give it one more shot just for luck, will you? Fine. Thank you very much. You know, I'm very lucky you were here. Yeah, I never had an accident like that before. I don't know how it happened. I guess I lost my head. You like a cigarette?
See.
Yeah, I seem to be all out. I'll just go down to the lobby and get another pack. Thanks a lot. Here lie the relics of an ancient civilization and the ghosts of all my paychecks. There they are.
Mike, here it is. 3 oranges.
Did you bring Scotty's keys?
Yes.
There it is.
$1,000 bills.
Let's go.
How ironic that the money was here all the time.
I made a bargain with Colonel Velasquez. You may have the money, but I'm to have my husband.
I'm afraid your agreement with Colonel Velasquez was never any good because, you see, your husband died 2 days before you arrived here.
I don't believe you.
In prison, the victim of a heart attack, apparently induced by our efforts to elicit from him the whereabouts of the $1 million. We hoped that your husband being gone, you would lead us to the money, which you have done. Gracias. I thank you. The government thanks you. All of Cuba thanks you.
You killed Scotty. You killed him?
It was not in our interest to have him die.
But he did anyway.
It was an accident.
And then you deliberately used me to get what you couldn't get from Scotty?
I'm sorry, it had to be done. You see, I'm only carrying out the orders of my superior, Colonel Velasquez, who is a man by nature given to subterfuge and intrigue.
All right, Santos. Now what about us?
Again, that depends upon Colonel Velasquez. You will, of course, have to answer to charges of counter-revolutionary activity and spying and conspiracy, that kind of thing. It is regrettable. You see, I hold no animosity against you, either one of you. In fact, I'm quite fond of you both.
Come on, Ann. We'll take Conrad Easter's boat to Miami.
I want that money.
Forget it. Didn't you hear what he said? We're enemies of the state.
I want that money, Mike. It's ours. We've earned it.
Sure, why not?
Scotty wanted me to have it.
Right. Now, come on, Ann.
You want men like Velasquez to have it?
You're absolutely right. Let's get out of here.
Bueno. Santos?
I'm sorry, Colonel. It couldn't be helped. They took it all. Every last cent.
How shall we spend the first 100,000? You know what I've always wanted? A tennis court. Not that I play tennis, but it's a great attention getter at parties to jump over the net with a full martini in your hand without spilling a drop.
For once, why don't you say what you're really thinking?
All right, I will. You know, you really had me scared there for a while. All my life, I've lived on the premise that everybody was only out for himself. You almost flushed my whole philosophy down the drain.
Hello there, you fountain of words. I am developing a new medium of self-expression. Bourbon stains and tears. You like it? It's fascinating patterns of unbelievable subtlety.
Look, Conrad, listen to me. Ann and I want to borrow your boat. We want to go 90 miles. Now, you made the offer the last time we were here.
I made the offer. Who am I to argue with a man of my reputation? What's this, a hearse? Look. Whose funeral is it, yours or mine?
It's the only thing we can lay our hands on. Now, jump in.
Who's this? Your wife? Why haven't we been introduced? How do you do? I am Leonardo da Vinci.
Sorry, Mike. You're welcome to the boat, but the money stays here.
You can have 100,000.
I want it all of it, Mrs. Palmer. It belongs to us.
Us?
My friends and I.
You? You're with the guerrillas?
I have been since the beginning. Mike, I want to make Cuba a place where I can paint what I want. Go where I want. Say what I want. Agree when I want, dissent when I want. I want all the things you're going to have 90 miles from here, even without $1 million. I'm sorry, Mike. Our need is the greater. You won't give us the money, we have to take it.
My husband died for that money.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Palmer. But if you want to compare corpses with us, we're the winners, hands down.
Fire one shot and Easter's had it. Put that money in the boat.
Shoot, caballeros!
There's $1 million in that bag. That means food, supplies, medicine, guns and ammunition. Shoot, compañeros. That's our chance.
Hurry up!
Shoot, compañeros. I order you to shoot.
If you want the money, take it. Make up your mind.
Take care of yourself, Conrad.
Useless old run-down.
Adios, you hack.
Take cover!
You all right? How do you like that Easter? I thought I knew that bum inside out.
Sometimes a man isn't all that he wants you to think he is.
Well, with him, it was pure subterfuge. At least I was honest. All I know is I've wasted a lot of time over the last 15 years.
So have I. But we've both got a lot of time left.
You know, now that you're poor, it's good that you're beautiful.